Question 19, Luke's got a garden, length 40, width 25, with both measurements given to the nearest metre, and Myra's also got a garden, and hers is measured to the nearest 10 metres squared, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start by working out the upper and lower bounds of those numbers that they've given me in the question, and I'm going to write down both of them. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to use yet, but I'm writing them all down so that then even if I pick the wrong ones, I still get the marks for actually having worked them out. Alright, so 40 has been measured to the nearest metre, so the minimum and maximum it could have been is 40.5 and 39.5, okay? We always write down the 40.5. I know that rounds up to 41, but it's the bound. That is the first point at which that happens, so we'll keep that as the upper bound. Do the same thing for 25, and we've got 25.5 and 24.5. The last number that we'll have to do that for is the 970. That's been rounded to the nearest 10 this time, so we have to add and subtract 5 on for half of that. So 975 and 965 is my maximum minimum for that. Okay. Right, so Myra is saying that her garden is definitely bigger, okay, but that might not be true. Her garden might actually be smaller because we'll have to work that out. So we're going to try and imagine that, who was the top person? Luke. We're going to imagine that Luke's garden is as big as it can be because Myra is saying that mine's the biggest, so Luke's trying to kind of prove that his is the biggest. So if Luke wants a big garden, he obviously wants it to be as long as it can be and as wide as it can be. So he's choosing those two numbers to use to work out the area. So he's going to do 40.5 times by 25.5, and he's going to use his calculator to do that. Times by 25.5, and we get an answer of 1032.75. 1032.75. Okay. What this shows is that Myra's could even be as small as 765, and obviously 10325, 1000 and something, is definitely bigger than that. So she's actually not correct in saying that, okay? What would you say she can't tell? Hang on, I'm just going to decide. Yeah, so in my head I'm thinking, well, she's saying it's bigger. That's not necessarily true, so I'm saying she's incorrect, but actually really it's looking for you to say that they can't tell because it might be that hers is bigger or it might be that it's smaller. What we can do is as well, we can do the sum for the smallest one just to kind of show that. Okay, so I'm going to do the 39.5 times by the 24.5 and see what we would get if Luke's garden were as small as possible. 24.5, and we get 967.75, was that? Yeah, 0.75. Okay, and so we can't tell because it might be that Luke's is as big as possible, as big as 1032, but it might be as small as 967, and comparing that to hers is somewhere between 965 and 975.